Call to order the Livingston Zoning Board of Adjustment meeting. Good evening and welcome. This is the public hearing for the Livingston Zoning Board of Adjustment. Today is July 23rd, 2024. If you are an applicant for a D or use variance, you should be aware that such a variance can only be granted after showing that special reason for the grant of the variance exists, and that variance can be granted without substantial detriment to the zoning plan of the Township of Livingston. You should also be aware that in order to be granted such a variance, you will require an affirmative vote of 5 members of the 7-member Board of Adjustment. Other variances require a majority of 4 members to grant that variance. If you are an applicant for any variance and your variance is denied by this board, you have a right to appeal to the Superior Court of the State of New Jersey within 45 days of notice of decision, and that court may overturn the decision of this board. If you are an objector to any type of variance that has been granted, you too may appeal to the Superior Court of the State of New Jersey within 45 days of the notice of decision. If you do file an appeal, I ask that you please provide a copy of your complaint to the Planning Administrator, Jackie Hollis. Pursuant to the requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act, also known as the Sunshine Law, adequate notice of this meeting was provided to the Star-Ledger and West Essex Tribune, and a copy was also posted on the bulletin board of the municipal building. In addition to having notice posted, notice of this meeting was placed on the township's website. Members of the public will have an opportunity to ask questions or to make statements regarding each application at the appropriate time. When the time comes, if you would like to address the board, please come to the front and use the microphone so we can make sure your comments or questions are part of the record. We will now call the roll call. Ms. Khan.
Ms. Khan is here. Mr. Kenya?
Here.
Mr. Shah?
Yes.
Mr. Sherman?
Here.
Ms. Yuan?
Here.
Ms. Khanna?
Here.
And Ms. Hollis is here from the Planning Board, and Mr. Gemis, our Board Attorney, is here.
Thank you, Ms. Khan. I also want to mention that Chairman Ed Beer is absent today, so I am sitting in for him. Thank you. There's a slight change in today's agenda. Application number 5, Block 2602, Lot 29, 35 Sycamore Avenue, has been adjourned to next meeting. No notice is required. And the date is August 27th. Ms. Khan, please call the first application.
Block 1600, Lot 39, 5 Briarcliff Road, application number 2024-19-V. Yu-Hui Wang, applicant seeks approval for new construction of a single-family residence in violation of the following section: 170-87 CC4 front yard setback, 40 feet required, 30.10 proposed, 9.9 feet variance requested. 170-87 CC3 habitable floor ratio, 30% allowed, 46.06 proposed, 16.06 variance requested.
Good evening. Would you please, each of you, state your name and spell it, please?
Yeah, my name is Yuhui Wang, Y-U-Z-F-U-I. Last name is W-A-N-G.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
And my name is Christine Miseo, M-I-S-E-O. It's the last name, and Christine, C-H-R-I-S-T-I-N-E.
Thank you very
And I'm
much.
the architect of the project.
Do both of you swear or affirm that any and all statements you make to the board this evening will be true, accurate, and complete during your testimony?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please consider yourselves under oath. Is someone going to lead? Are you going to lead, Ms. Missy?
I will lead. I have not been before a few of the members before this board before. It's been a long time since I've been here. I don't know if you want me to go through my qualifications.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind doing that, please.
Not a problem. I'm a licensed architect and planner in the state of New Jersey. My fees are paid, so everything is up to date. I graduated from Illinois Institute of Technology in 1981. Received my license in 1984 in New Jersey, 85 in New York, and 86 in New Jersey. and have been practicing in New Jersey ever since. I had my,
Go ahead.
I was going to say, and I've had my firm, it was in Livingston for a while, then East Hanover, and I am now in retirement mode, sold my building, and I'm working out of my home. So it's been about 40 years that I've been doing this.
And you've been qualified before zoning and planning boards to
Yes.
render testimony as an architect?
Yes, and I did sit on the Livingston Planning Board for quite a few years, 35 years ago. So,
And are you presenting testimony as an expert in architecture in this meeting?
and planner,
And planner?
yes,
And your license is in good standing?
yes.
Madam Chairperson, I would suggest that we qualify Ms. Messier as to give expert testimony in architecture as well as a planner. Unless anyone has any questions.
Yeah. Does anyone on the board have any questions or objections regarding this witness?
Great.
There being no objections, the witness is accepted as an expert in your field. Thank you.
Thank you. We're here before you tonight for the construction of a new residence at 5 Briarcliff Road. There is an existing home on the property that's to be removed. It is a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, 1-car garage house that's approximately, I believe it was about 1,400 square feet. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be knocking that house down, and we are proposing a new house with the attic of 2,910 square feet. We do need 2 variances. We need a C1 variance for a front yard setback, and we also need a D variance for floor area ratio. We'll start with the C variance for the front yard. Oh, that's, yeah, that's new, huh? Haven't been here for a while. The C variance that we require for the front yard setback, I had done some calculations, and I think I might have made a mistake because I also included the house on the other side of the cul-de-sac. So when you don't include the house on the other side of the cul-de-sac, the average setbacks are 31 feet, and I am at 30 foot 10 inches. We are willing to cut back the 2 inches on the house to delete that variance if required. But the houses on either side are sort of interesting. The house to the left is approximately 25 feet 9 inches, and the house on the right is approximately 33 1 inches. So our 31 feet sort of nestles between the two. And at the garage, and you saw the plans briefly, you'll see that how the garage comes out to sort of the beginning of the lot. That's at 37 feet. So that will still be at least 2 feet behind the house to the right. And the left side at almost 31 feet will be about 4 feet in front of the other house. I'm sorry, behind the other house. So I believe that 2-inch variance is sort of minimal, but like I said, we're willing to take away the two inches just to negate that variance if the board requires.
Madam Chairperson, if I might, I know that you're referring to exhibits on the screen.
Yes.
So I just want to identify them.
Yes, I'm sorry.
The survey is a Formosa Engineering, Inc. survey that was prepared by Andrew Wu, I believe.
Yes, it is, and the last revision date is 4/30/24.
Okay, and then we have, there were 4 color photos shown there. Those accurately depict what those images show?
Yes.
Is that correct?
The existing residence.
And finally, there's a site plan that you prepared, Ms. Macedo, that consists of 3 sheets dated April 30, 2024, that are A1, A2, and A3.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much.
The D variance that we're requesting is a floor area ratio variance. And the house, the lot itself is considerably undersized for the zone. The zone requires 9,375 square feet. This lot is 63,816 square feet. So we've lost about a third of what would be required for the lot. If you take a look at my site plan, you can see that the curve, because of Briarcliff, takes a pretty good sized chunk out of the property. Notwithstanding, we still are asking for a fairly large floor area ratio variance of 46%. Now, that also includes a finished attic. The house without the attic is 2,534 square feet, or 40%. With the attic or without the attic, we're still below the habitable floor area that's allowed in the zone by about 300 square feet with the attic and approximately 600 square feet without the attic. So the house is not a very large house. We feel that you know what, let me just go back just a little bit. I just do want to explain that there are other additions. I'm assuming that all of you had a chance to drive down Briarcliff and in that neighborhood, and there are a number of the old housing stock that are being torn down and updated. Most of those old houses are 3-bedroom, 1-bath, tiny garage, tiny living room, dining room. Most of the what we're proposing is a little bit more of an updated house. And like I said, the main 2 levels are only about 2,500 square feet. And that would give us 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. And then it would also give us a nicer size kitchen, family room combination, and a small living room, dining room, as well as a 2-car garage. We have a central stair in the house, so it was only natural, because it would not take any more square footage out of the middle of the house, to be able to go up to the attic and utilize some of the area in the eaves. The area in the attic is not very big. It's only 376 square feet, and it is not very tall. As you can see, on my A1, or my floor plan drawings, my second floor and attic plan drawings, and the attic cross-section, that we really do not have a real high ceiling up there. So you're not doing much. But it would be a study loft, an area for the kids to play. Because of the size of this house, there is only 1 family room, and it is right off the kitchen and dinette. In the case of floor area ratio variance, the court in Coventry Square versus Westwood Zoning Board of Adjustment found that the applicants for floor area ratio need not show that the site is particularly suited for more intense development, but only that the site will accommodate any problems that occur because of this development. And we feel that it is very, very easy on this lot if we have to add a slightly larger stormwater management, though the footprint doesn't change with our extra floor area ratio in the attic. But we can easily add any any stormwater. We can add additional landscaping. I believe that, especially from the front of the house, it does not overpower the lot. Other than my 2 inches in the front that I miscalculated, we don't need any other bulk variances. We don't need any bulk variances for height. We're almost 2 feet In fact, I think we're a little more than 2 feet lower than what's allowed in the zone. So we really aren't pushing the envelope to grab as much as we can in the attic. And like I said, we don't need any side yard variances or rear yard variances on this project either. I really believe that this variance can be granted without causing any substantial detriment to the public good. Granting the variance will not substantially impair the intent and purpose of the municipal land plan or the ordinances.
Thank you, Ms. Maceo. Does anyone in the public have any questions for this witness? Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness?
I just have, it's more clarification than a question. So the total square footage of the house without the attic is 2534, right?
Without the
Without
attic.
the attic, right? And the square footage for an R4 is 3220?
Right,
Right, okay. All right, and the lot is undersized?
yes,
Okay, okay, that was it.
thanks.
I have a question. You already have a full basement designed for the house, right?
Yes.
Up to the whole footprint.
Yes.
And what's the purpose of the attic area? You said it's not too big, it's only 6.5 feet. And what's the expected use of it?
A loft, a study loft for the kids, or maybe a TV area for the kids. The basement, as you can see, the lot is pretty flat. And we're only going to have a couple steps up, so you're not going to really be able to have big windows in the basement. And I really felt, because the other houses in the neighborhood are not real tall houses, I could have pulled this house up another 3 or 4 steps and still been within the 35 feet. But we really felt that we should keep it lower and a little bit, not quite as massive because of that. So, like I said, we do not have big windows in the basement. We'll just have regular basement-type windows. I believe we might have one egress window. We'll wind up putting in one egress window, though, just for safety, because I'm one of those crazy fire ladies that I like an egress window in the basement, whether there's a bedroom or not.
I have a question. So you have this regular staircase going to the attic?
Yes, we do, and it's in the very middle of the house. So the staircase that goes to the attic will also be going to the first floor and second floor, and then all the way down to the basement. It'll be the same stairwell.
And how high is the basement down?
The basement will be 8 foot. Just to clarify with the stairwell, the basement will have a door, but we would prefer that the first floor, second floor, and attic be an open stair. It'll just look really pretty.
The basement have a door, it's like stepping out door?
No, at the stairwell. So in other words, when you're up high, you're not looking into the basement.
Got it.
So there'll be a door in the basement area.
Does anybody on the board have any thoughts about the 2-inch miscalculation that Ms. Maceo is now seeking variance for?
Ms. Messia, just briefly, you've made an opinion, you've rendered an opinion. I just want to clarify that this can be accommodated on the site and that it's compatible with the neighborhood, correct?
Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure that's on the record.
Thank you, Mr. Jammers. Does anyone on the board want to make a statement? Does anyone in the public want to make a statement? Does anyone want to make a motion? Mr. Shaw?
I'll second it.
Mr. Sherman seconds it. Ms. Khan?
Mr. Shaw?
Yes.
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Ms. Khan votes yes. Mr. Kenya?
Yes.
Ms. Yuan?
Yes.
Ms. Kana?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much, I
Congratulations.
appreciate it.
Nice to see you, Chris.
Next one, too, so see you later, Chris. I'll talk to you.
Nice to see you.
Ms. Khan, can you call the next application?
Before you announce it, I have a problem. My client called me up this afternoon. They had a family health emergency and had to run to Long Island. So they are not here, and they said they could be available by phone, but I don't know if that messes things up in terms of me testifying.
Would there be anyone else testifying?
No,
We can't
just
take
me.
testimony by phone.
Okay, no, I would be the only person testifying, but they are not able to be here. They called me this afternoon, about
And are they-
4:30.
And are they directing you to proceed without them?
Oh, yeah, they asked me to, hey, do it.
Then I think we can proceed with
Okay,
that.
I just wanted to ask permission before.
Very well, thank you.
Block number 3810, Lot 2, 31 Hillside Terrace, application number 2024-10-V, Sean Wasserman. Applicant seeks approval to convert attic space into 2 bedrooms with 2 dormers to the left and right sides of the roof in violation of the following section. 170-87CC4, habitable floor ratio, 30% allowed, 36.8% proposed, 6.8% variance requested.
Ms. Messi, I'm going to ask you, for the purpose of the record, to again affirm or swear that any and all statements you're going to make to the board this evening will be true, accurate, and complete in conjunction with your testimony.
Yes,
Consider yourself again under oath. Are all the qualifications that you stated at the last presentation still in force, full force and
they
effect?
sure are, yes.
Then I would respectfully suggest, Madam Chairperson, that we qualify Ms. Messi again. as
Thank you, Mr.
An
Jones.
architect and a planner, is that correct?
Yes, please.
Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Okay. The subject property today is at 31 Hillside Terrace. It is approximately 10 years old. I designed it for the Wassermans about 10 years ago. Came before this board about 5 years ago and put an office addition to the rear. And now they have asked me to do another renovation, and that would be in the attic of this existing house. The house is in the R4 zone, and this lot also is slightly undersized. It is 8,750 square feet, where 9,375 square feet is required. The house right now has 4 bedrooms and 3.5 baths. And they're looking to put another bedroom up in the attic and a study loft for the oldest son. Right now, the 2 older boys, 13 and 11, are sharing a room. And then they have a daughter, 8, and another son, 6. So they too each have their own room. As Mrs. Wasserman explained to me, the 2 boys aren't getting along so great sharing a room at that age. So they felt, though they do have an egress window in the basement, they did not want their son in the basement. They felt that it would be best to do an attic bedroom, and then he would still come downstairs to share the kids' bath in the main hallway. If you go to the next page, next one passed. Oh, where were the other? You're missing the floor plans. That's weird. Oh, okay, but you'd have them on your drawings. So if you go to page A3,
Madam
the
Chairperson.
bedroom that they shared was
Ms.
the,
Ms.
Masseo,
Masseo.
I'm gonna interrupt you again. Let's just talk about the exhibits that you're gonna present, all right?
Okay.
If you wouldn't mind. There's a site plan that you prepared, correct?
yes, there is.
That's dated April 17th, 2024, that consists of 2 sheets, A1 and A2, and also includes 3 black and white photographs of the property,
Yes,
all right? Those photographs accurately depict the images that are there, correct?
correct.
The one I have, black and white, those are in color.
Right, and I
Right.
took those pictures.
Okay,
I
then we
believe-
have a survey, the first survey by P Squared or P2 Land Surveying, Inc. James Pica is the professional, the PLS on that. It's dated October 2, 2023, with a revision of February 9, 2024. And it's showing elevations and existing conditions and pre-existing conditions. Is that correct?
Yes,
And then there's another survey by the same firm, P2, I'm going to call it P2 Land Surveying, Inc., and Mr. Pica, that's dated October 2, 2023, with a survey notation modified by you dated October 15, 2023, to show the attic addition and the zoning table only. Is that correct?
yes.
I don't believe that there's anything else that we have. Those are the documents. Thank you very much.
Okay, the drawings that were submitted to the town would have had the floor plans. I believe you do have on your A2.
A2 of your site plan document.
You don't have this, I made it small, you don't have this drawing? Okay, you do have it, okay, okay. Yeah, no, that's, for some reason, it looked like it just got
Don't have a soft
missed.
copy.
Okay, so what is submitted is what I'll be testifying to. As you can see on your A2 in the lower area, I have both the first floor plan and the second floor plan. There will be no changes on the first floor plan, and the only change on the second floor plan is the addition of a stair in the middle, going through the middle bedroom up to the attic. And then the attic area that we are using as habitable space is approximately, it's a hair under 400 square feet, 399 square feet. That space is noted to be at 6 feet 6 inches in height, and then higher. The center goes to about 8 feet. So we are not changing the existing height of the roof, and I believe the height of the existing roof is 33 feet. It's 33 feet 7 inches to the ridge, and the 2 dormers that we are adding are at 32 feet 7 inches. We are adding a dormer on either side of the house to be able to accommodate egress windows on either side. Because of the situation with the children, and there really is nowhere to add more space over the existing house, because we do meet our side yards, rear yard, and front yard setbacks. We do not want to put another addition to the rear. And the office that we did put on in the rear last year has got a high ceiling. So Mrs. Wasserman did not want to destroy that cathedral ceiling for a bedroom. We also felt that adding the bedroom into the attic would be the most economical place to add living space to the house. They're very rooted into the community and the shul on Mount Pleasant Avenue, and this is a nice, easy walk for them, so they really did not want to leave the neighborhood. Also, even though they felt they could get a lot for their house in terms of money, they'll be paying a lot to move also, and they do like their fairly new home. The maximum area of this house still does not exceed the maximum habitable area in the zone, which is 3220. We are at 31, I'm sorry, just make sure I'm looking at the right, 3151. So we are about 70 square feet less than what is required in the zone. This is another situation with Coventry Square versus Westwood zoning, that the applicant's floor area ratio variances do not need to show that the site is particularly suited for more intense development, but that only the site will accommodate any problems. And because we are not changing the footprint of the house or any roof area, there would be no additional drainage. There would be no impact on the lot itself or any of the neighbors. The only change in the roof would be the small dormers on either side. If you had a chance to drive down Hillside Terrace, you'll see that there are a lot of houses that are now being upgraded, and the new housing stock is really bringing the modern-day amenities to a lot of the very small splits that are there. And I did a quick look online to see some square footages of houses on Hillside Terrace. 27 Hillside Terrace was 3,200 square feet. 21 Hillside Terrace was 3,100 square feet. 39 Hillside Terrace was 3,067. 45 was a little over 32, though the Realtor listing said it was 45, but I knew that was impossible. So I took off a chunk they counted the basement, I know it. 77 Hillside Terrace is 3198, and 36 Hillside Terrace is 3396. So as you can see that with them jumping up and getting this just not quite 400 square foot more, they are within the same realm of almost every new house that's been built in the last 5 to 8 years on Hillside Terrace. I believe this house 10 or 12 years ago when I think it was 10 or 11 years ago when I designed it, was the first house on Hillside Terrace to be knocked down and rebuilt. So I really feel that this house is keeping within the new housing stock in the neighborhood. And as I had stated before, the Wassermans have 4 children. Their need is for an extra bedroom. And as most parents know, they don't want a 13-year-old son in the basement. Right, the stairwell right outside the master bedroom door is the best place to put a 13-year-old kid in the attic. The other thing is they will also be using the extra space to the right in the attic. To the left is the bedroom. To the right is a small area, about 10 feet wide and about 20 feet long, that will be used for a study area for the kids. I believe that this variance, because it does not really change the look or the nature of the house, doesn't change the footprint of the house, can be granted without causing a substantial detriment to the public good. And granting this variance will not substantially impair the intent or purpose of the municipal zoning plan or ordinances.
Thank you, Ms. Maceo. Does anyone on the board have a question for the witness? Does anyone in the public have any questions for the witness? Does anybody on the board want to make a statement? Does anyone in the public want to make a statement? Does anyone want to make a motion?
I'll make it.
Mr. Kenya?
I'll second it.
Mr. Sherman? Thank you.
Ms. Khan votes, oh, I'm sorry, who made the motion? Mr. Kenya?
Yes.
Mr. Sherman?
Yes.
Ms. Khan votes yes. Mr. Shah?
Yes.
Ms. Yuan?
Yes.
And Ms. Khanna?
Yes,
Okay.
congratulations.
Thank you very much, I really appreciate it. And hopefully you will never have to see me again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Can you call the next application, Ms. Khan?
Block 3501, Lot 15, 95 Veer Terrace, application number 2024-28-V. Jiwa Tang, applicant seeks approval for a shed gazebo patio and second floor addition in violation of the following sections. 170-87CC2, habitable floor area, 3,220 square feet allowed, 4,601 square feet proposed, 1,281 square foot variance requested. Accessory structures, 170-87E1F4, floor area, shed, 240 square feet, gazebo, 225 square feet, 200 square feet allowed, 465 square feet proposed, 265 square feet variance requested.
Do we have everybody who's going to testify? Is that, are you going to testify, sir? Are you going to lead off? Are you going to be first?
She's going to describe what she's going through. She's the owner.
All right, so I'm going to swear you all in at the same time, okay? So I'm going to ask you to get to a microphone if you're going to, so, all right, I'll start with you, sir. Would you state your name and spell it, please?
Yeah, my name is Shri, S-H-R-I, last name K-O-T-B-A-W-A-L-A. I'm a professional engineer in the state of New Jersey since 1999.
Okay.
And I'll be testifying here as a professional engineer.
I'll qualify you, and we'll go through the qualifications in a minute. And you, sir?
Name's Paul Wu, P-O, first name, last name is W-U, and I'm a registered architect in New Jersey since 2010.
Okay, thank you, and I'll swear you in a second. Your name, ma'am, please.
My first name is Liang, L-I-A-N-G. Last name Z-H-A-N-G.
Okay.
And my first name is Jia, J-I-A, and last name T-N-G Tang.
Okay, do all of you swear or affirm that any and all statements and testimony you give to the board this evening will be true, accurate, and complete?
Yes.
I do.
Yes.
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 All right, so they all qualify. So I'll start with you. Would you present your credentials to the board?
Yeah. Again, my name is Shri Kodawala, and I'm a professional engineer in state of New Jersey since 1999, and practicing as a land use engineer since last 28 years. And I have a degree, PhD degree in civil engineering from Kansas State University. So, and I have testified in front of this board at least about 20 years back, but I have done few projects where I do wetland delineation and permitting in Livingston Township, but I have testified in many other boards in state of New Jersey.
And if I might ask, your credentials are in good standing right now?
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Respectfully, Chairperson, I would ask the board to consider qualifying him as a professional engineer to give testimony,
Thank you, Mr. Jemis.
unless anyone has an objection.
Does anyone have any objections with the qualifications shared?
All right, now, Mr. Architect, if you would just go over to the microphone, would you state your credentials for the board, please?
Yes, my name is Paul Wu, P-O-W-U, and I got a master's degree in Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in upstate New York. I got my license in 2010. I've been practicing since. I was here like probably 2 months ago, present another case to the board. Also, I attend a variance meeting for the other city as well throughout New Jersey.
And your credentials are in good standing?
Yes.
Again, Madam Chairperson, I would suggest that we qualify him as an architect, render expert testimony in architecture.
Thank you, Mr. Jemis.
Yes.
All right, whoever is going to go first.
We're here to apply for our new home, and we've been residents in Livingston since 2017, and the kids are in the Livingston public school right now, Mount Pleasant Elementary School, and the kids enjoy the school. So in the past 7 years, the kids are getting bigger, and we also live with my parents right now, so 4 adults and 2 kids in the house. So we're trying to get everyone more space, so that's why we need a new home and bigger home. Thank you.
Does anyone on the board have a question for the witness? Does anyone in the public have a question for the witness?
No.
I keep forgetting the green button. I'm going to suggest that, who's up next? Is it Mr. Engineer? I'm going to suggest that you either go to the podium there, where we can, because we need to hear you and be clear.
Good evening. And basically, my partner, Gary Chiang, he did the plans, and I have seen the plans, I have seen the site, and I'll just explain you why we are here today and what's the reason. And then owner and architect can testify more about what's the reasoning for asking for the variances we are here for. I could talk about the engineering and that we are not creating any negative impact on the neighbors by doing whatever the addition is proposed here at this place. So I'll just explain to you why we are here. Our reason is the existing square feet of the house is 1994 square feet, which is older house, and it's kind of a split level house. And as we know, like owner purchased it so they can expand this particular house, not 1994 square feet. So by the township regulations, there's a 3,220 square feet ceiling they have posted on house, so you don't want to see a super large home in the middle of like surrounding homes. You don't want to create like awkward looking homes as far as like unusual homes rather than I would say awkward. So the applicant is proposing 4,500 square feet home. Basically, they are adding, creating a second floor instead of a split level house. And by creating so, we are exceeding the requirement set by township of 3,220 square feet. But this lot is a little unique because required minimum lot size is 9,375 square feet, while this lot is 15,000 square feet. So we have 60% larger lot than us neighboring lots. Henceforth, we are asking that you give us some relief. So we are not creating, like we are staying within the proportion of it. So that is our biggest kind of like a defense argument of why we are asking this. They have their personal need. They can describe personal need. I won't be able to talk about it, why they need more space and what's the reason for it. But they told me they have parents as well as kids, and that's the reason. Because of this occupancy level, they need larger space in the house. And as far as these township stormwater rules, we are complying with stormwater rules by providing an underground system, which will capture the water, stormwater roof runoff, and then if there is overflow, it will discharge in the same direction it's discharging now. So basically, no negative impact as far as the engineering goes. I can testify. And that's basically, that's the only reason we are here. And they have a storage and shade. One of that requires a variance. It's a very minor variance for the 1.5% for the accessory structures. Do you have the architectural plans?
Madam Chairperson, with your permission.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
If I could for a second.
Yes.
You indicated that you referenced the site plan or site plot plan that was prepared by MGC Associates,
Correct.
Gary Chang,
Yes,
and that's dated July 25, 2023,
yes,
and it was signed by someone on February 8, 2024.
yes,
You're familiar with that?
yes,
Does that site plot plan accurately represent what
I'm talking, yes, correct,
what the applicant is proposing?
yes.
There's a survey on that site plot plan. Who prepared that survey?
And then we hired a sub, so we don't do the survey, we are only engineering company.
But well, there's a survey that was submitted with the plans that was prepared by Formosa Engineering, Inc.,
Correct,
entitled The Topographical Survey dated April 6, 2023, prepared by Andrew K. Wu.
yes,
Is that depicted on the document that you're showing on the screen?
yeah, the existing conditions are shown by the Formosa surveying company.
And you're familiar with the proposed plans that were prepared by Mr. Wu? You're the architect, right?
Yes,
You're familiar with those?
yes. So we are familiar with the footprint addition on the back. We are putting a patio, and the front, we are creating a covered porch. I will just see here, it's a covered porch.
Okay.
So,
So what I'm going to suggest we do is the site plot plan will be labeled Exhibit A1,
yes,
all right? The proposed plans that were prepared by Mr. Wu will be A2. The photographs will be A3, and the survey that I referenced will be A4,
okay.
okay? Thank you.
So if this same house would have built on a 9,375 square feet area, we would be covering roughly 34% of the habitable floor area ratio versus the proposed ratio is 30%. Just because the lot size is bigger and a threshold of 3,200 square feet, we have this issue, and that's why we are here in front of the board. If you have any question about architectural looks and all that, then our architect can talk about it, but anything related to engineering or percentage calculations, I'll be able
Right.
to explain it.
I'm looking at the numbers and I'm thinking, the lot is an R4 zone.
Correct.
The size of the lot is close to R3,
Yes,
but the build-up that you are requesting for is close to R2.
correct. So, yeah, basically, that's what is happening as far as the numbers goes, because typically, I know why Livingston created this. I understand the non-uniformity between the same neighborhood, but at the same time, we thought like we are still below 34%, which peak is allowed for the normal lot size, because our lot size is about 60% larger. So in that case, we are seeking a little relief. Instead of like 60% larger lot, you give us something. And none of the space they are proposing, based on my talk with them, is utilized space. It's not created just to, some people say, I want a bigger house, so I can have better sell value. It's not the purpose.
Does anybody on the board have any questions?
I do. You're almost going 40% over. You're saying that's a little relief?
From 32, yes, we are about 40%, yes.
That's little relief.
No, I'm not talking about the relief. We are just saying the proportionate of the lot size. I'm not just, if the lot size would have been, this lot would have been smaller, the percentage would have been,
It doesn't matter because
Correct.
you're in the R4 zone and there's a required allowed is 30 to 20.
correct.
And you're going 40% over. That's unheard of.
I have a question. You have an open attic that's accessible and usable?
I would just let architect talk
Okay,
about
I'll
the
ask
house.
later. Sure
Anything
thing.
other than a house, I would be able to answer you
okay.
everything.
Sure.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I will just concur with my colleague. I think that the house is extremely oversized for the neighborhood. It doesn't fit in with the other homes.
Okay.
It'll be just tremendous and stand out. I don't just think it's very large. And as my colleague said, it really is more of an R2 size of a house you would find in an R2, and this is an R4. Realizing that the house comes close to an R3 lot, but it's extremely oversized.
So would board consider if the applicant goes back to drawing board, talk to the architect, and come up with some reasonable request to the board? Or maybe they can, talk to your
That's a
professionals after.
determination, but understand that you're looking for a D variance,
That's correct, yes,
and you have 6 members.
correct,
You need 5 yes votes.
correct.
I've been at this a long time.
Yes.
I have gray hair because,
Yeah, no, I understand.
so I think that it might be I'm not telling you what to do, I'm only suggesting that it might be in the applicant's best interest to reconsider what it's doing here, because
Sure,
the board's made some comments that show that might be necessary.
correct.
That's my comment.
Okay, so,
Well, if you're going to, an inquiry's been made as to whether to finish the presentation. The concern that I would have about that is if you go forward on the presentation based upon the information the application that you submitted, you might have to redo it all again anyway.
correct.
So it may be more reasonable to revisit this and figure out what you can do to better accommodate the dynamics of the statute. Because you're going to have to show how this accommodates and is compatible. And I think you have a challenge before you.
Okay, can I just talk to the applicant for a minute?
I won't speak on behalf of the chairperson, but I think that you ought to do that.
Yeah, so. I think applicant understand, he says, let's go back to the drawing board and we will reduce the scope of our work and then we will talk to the township professionals and see that we are coming closer to the, in the past board has approved similar things, so we will not cross that boundaries. So if you can give us a new meeting date.
And I think, if I could, Madam Chairperson, that we would do it, the board would do it in such a manner that you don't have to renotice and you don't have to go through all that stuff again. The next date is, I think, the 27th of August. Is that correct, Ms. Howell? 27 August? Oh, did I mishear you? You want to proceed with this plan?
No, we are going to come back. We're going to
what I
revise
thought I
the
heard.
map, we're going to reduce the size, and basically we will consult with the township professional to see in the past what board has allowed, what threshold is there, generally speaking, and we would try to stay at that level or below that number.
If I'm not wrong, you did have that second thought, and at some point you decided to remove your application from tonight's meeting to rework on, so you're aware of what the concerns may be
Yes,
at our
because
end.
we had a
Yet
planner.
you decided to come tonight in front of the board and
Correct.
present.
Yes.
So you came with the intention of a possible vote from the board? If that, we can listen to you and make a...
Yeah, the applicant thought they've been basically they're getting postponed not because of the board reason, but their own personal reasons, engineers, architects, finding right date and right time to come. So they say we don't want to get delayed. At least they wanted to get a sense of what board is going to talk about it or think about this project.
In that case, why don't we just vote today?
No, we will request not to have a vote today because we know we're going to, it needs a change to the plan.
You knew it to begin with, and you almost pulled the application today, then you reconsidered it. So that means you wanted a decision today, and we are ready to make it.
No, we would like to reduce the size of scope of work and then come back for vote.
The applicant understands that if you modify the plans, those plans need to be submitted to the board 10 days before the meeting.
Correct, yes.
Otherwise, you just can't come in and present.
Correct.
And you might want to consult with whomever you were consulting with in the town with
Yes.
regard to that.
Yes.
All right, you understand all
Yeah,
that?
no, I'm aware of the fact, and I have told them.
Thank you
like-
very much.
Yeah.
Does anybody else on the board have any comments about this application or the fact that we should listen to the testimony of the architect and, or give an alternate adjournment for a later date?
If we are going with the next date, then no point, we can just stop right here, just wait for the next appointment. And consider that that would be your final appointment,
Yes.
whatever it is.
I'm okay with that.
I agree
Yeah?
with that, too.
Yeah, okay. Ms. Hollis, do we have? So I'm being told that the calendar is rather packed for August and September. It might push your application to October then.
Okay,
We'll
whichever-
try and squeeze you in into September if there's any possibility. But at this time, it appears that October might be when we are able to re-listen to your application.
Yeah, we would like to see whenever is the earliest possible by the board. So if it's October, it's October.
Okay, all
Okay.
right. I appreciate your understanding.
Because I understand if we have to change the date and if she can accommodate us, but then we have to renotice the.
Right, right. I
if the
appreciate
date
that.
changes. Okay, so for now, it's October?
For now, it's October,
Okay,
but October 22nd, as
Okay.
Ms. Hollis pointed out. And you'll be in touch with the
yes,
the
yeah, I'll be
office
checking.
anyways. Well, I think then we don't need to listen to any more testimonies in this application.
Okay, thank you
Thank
very
you,
much.
Have
Ms.
a
Khanna,
good
can I
night.
just say one thing?
Yes, please.
You did say, though, I just want to reinforce, you did say that the next time that you come back in front of us, and we look forward to seeing you in October, that will be the final.
That will be the final hearing.
So just,
Yes,
okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next application, Ms. Khan.
Block 2501, Lot 3, 57 West Lawn Road, application number 2024-30-V. Amit Bansal and Sweetie Mittal. Applicant seeks approval for two-story rear addition in violation of the following section: 170-87CC3, habitable floor ratio, 21% required, 31.63 proposed, 10.63% variance requested.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. Please tell us who you are.
I'm the owner of the house. I'm Amit Bansal, AmitBansal.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ruchi Dhar. I am a licensed architect. I'm licensed in the state of New Jersey, New York, and Maryland. I'm also...
Let me get you under oath, and then you can testify, all right? So do you both swear or affirm that any and all statements you make to the board this evening will be true, accurate, and complete?
I do.
You do?
Yes.
So consider, both of you are under oath. Now you can state your qualifications. all right?
Sure. So my name is Ruchi Dhar. I'll spell it R-U-C-H-I. Last name is D-H-A-R. I'm here as a licensed architect representing my client Amit Bansal. I have a bachelor's degree in architecture. I'm also NCARB certified, and I hold an active license in the state of New York, New Jersey, and Maryland. I've testified before many zoning boards in the state of New Jersey, and my professional address is 81 Falcon Road, Livingston, New Jersey.
And your licenses are all in good standing as of this
Yes, they're
moment?
active.
Madam Chairperson, I would suggest to the board that the architect be qualified to render an expert testimony in this matter.
Thank you. Does anybody on the board have any questions or objections to this witness? Thank you.
All right. I can describe the project now. The subject property is 57 West Lawn Road, Livingston. This property is located in the R3 zone. Block is 2501, lot is 3. So in preparation for the subject property, I visited the site. I reviewed the zoning ordinance. I also looked at the Livingston Master Plan, Section 2 goals and objectives. This house is a colonial, single-family, detached, two-storied structure. It has a partially finished basement. It has one-car garage, 4 bedrooms, which are located on the second floor, and 2.5 baths. This has an existing paved patio in the rear. The overall existing habitable area is about 2,042 square feet, which excludes the garage, and this accounts to about 24% of the site. The exterior finishes, they include the stone cladding in the front. Rest of the house has siding with shingled roofing. I'm now going to describe the yard and the bulk zoning regulations for the property, which lies in the R3 zone. This lot is about 8,390 square feet. The required minimum lot in R3 zone is about 15,000 square feet. So this is a pre-existing non-conforming condition. The lot width of our property is about 60 feet. The minimum required is 100 feet. The lot depth is 134.82 feet. Minimum required is 150 feet. We have a minimum, the front setback is about 36.9 feet. The minimum required is 50 feet, which is a pre-existing non-conforming condition. Our side yards are 10, the existing side yards are 10.2 feet and 13.1 feet. With the addition at the back, we have about 11 feet on the left-hand side and 17 feet 9 inches on the right-hand side. We have the aggregate side yards, which account to about 28 feet 9 inches total with the proposed addition. The rear yard setback is about 55 feet 1.5 inch with the proposed addition, which also complies with the zoning setback. The height of the structure would come up to be 27 feet 9 inches, which is less than 35 feet, the maximum allowable as per the zoning. So I would like to go over the variances now. We are seeking variance for the extension in the rear of the property.
If I can interrupt you for a second?
Yes, sure.
All right. Madam Chairperson, with your permission? Please. All right. We're going to mark the exhibits, so this way, in case you're showing them, everybody knows what they are.
Okay.
As what I understand, there's a site plan that was prepared by you, correct?
Yes.
Dated April 15, 2024, and revised on July 9, 2024. That
Yes.
consists of 5 sheets designated as T1.0, R1.0, A10, A2.0, and A2.1. There are 3 sheets of 6 color photos.
Correct.
Do you know who took those photographs?
Yes, I took them.
All right, and they accurately depict the images that are set
Yes.
forth therein? So the first one would be Exhibit A1, the photos will be A2, and then we have 2 surveys. One is both prepared by Morgan Engineering and Surveying, David J. von Steenberg. Both are dated June 23, 2021. The first one shows existing conditions.
Correct.
That was revised on July 9, 2024. You're familiar with that survey, correct?
Yes, I
And it
am.
accurately depicts the conditions shown there, correct?
Right.
And then there's another survey by the same firm that you're showing right now that has like an orange-colored section with notations as
Correct.
to the proposed additions, and that's accurate with regard to existing conditions and what you're proposing.
Yeah, that's
That would
correct.
be, so those 2 surveys will be A3 and A4. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. So we are seeking variance for the extension in the rear of the property that you see in the orange box. We are proposing a second floor addition, which is about 31 feet 2 inches and 16 feet 2 inches above the existing first floor. We also are doing a 2-story addition, which is about 11 feet 3 inches and 8 feet 2, built over the existing paved patio, also located in the rear of the property. Since this 2-storied addition will be built over the paved patio, hence the impervious coverage will not be affected and will not be increased. Our ask is for the habitable floor ratio, which is as per the zoning regulation 170-87 CC3. The required FAR should be 21%. We are proposing 31.63%, which is 10.63% above the FAR. I'm going to go over the special reasons. This lot is way undersized compared to the minimum size of the lot, which triggers all the overall pre-existing non-conforming conditions that we spoke earlier. The site and the structure can handle this modest addition. I have reviewed the township master plan, and I found out that the goals and objective of the master plan, they align with our ask. Ours is a moderate ask that we are doing in the rear of the property, considering the fact that the family is growing. And when they bought the property, which was a couple of years back, they had one child, and now the family is growing. They have their parents also and another kid. So this addition would accommodate that requirement for their family. I can go with the negative criterias also. There'll be no substantial traffic increase due to this addition. It's not hurting the property value of this house. No trees are affected. As you see in the picture, the deck will be taken out. The wood steps will be taken out. And the addition would basically be accommodated in that portion in the rear. The style of the house would stay colonial and would fit into the neighborhood design. It's not going to create any substantial detriment to the public good and the master plan as per the ordinance. And expanding the house in the rear will not create any drainage issues, as all the roof leaders are going underground. As you can see in the picture, they are all connected and connected further. So when we do the addition, it's going to be the same way. They're not going to go straight drain at the rear yard. It would be connected underground. Hence, I don't see any substantial impact. In conclusion, I think we are proposing a modest addition, and the site can accommodate it. I would hope the board considers this application.
Thank you, Ms. Dar.
Thank you.
So the only variance that you are seeking is the floor
area
ratio.
Yes,
And
that's
it is an undersized lot.
Yes.
It is an R3, but it's substantially undersized.
Right.
I have a question, though. You said the back steps will be removed.
Yes,
So, but there will be new steps constructed
correct.
to allow access to, and
Correct.
where will those steps be then?
So it's the sheet A1, it's the floor plan. There'll be the wood steps coming out of that room.
Got it.
So they take out the plans for a reason, just for the
Got it. I mean,
safety.
it doesn't really affect your application. I'm just curious.
But I think the sets that you have will show that a small deck, small platform, and the wood steps are there leading to the outside. So if you look at the site plan, there's those wood steps on the side.
Got it. Yeah, we all have that. Right. Does anyone on the board have any questions for this witness? Does anyone in the public have any questions for this witness? Does anyone on the board want to make a statement? Does anybody in the public want to make a statement? Would anyone like to make a motion?
To make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Ms. Xuan.
I'll second it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for all your time.
Mr. Sherman, Mr. Sherman. And Mr. Sherman, sorry.
Okay. Ms. Yuan,
Yes.
Mr. Shah,
Yes.
Ms. Khan votes yes. Mr. Kenya,
Yes.
Mr. Sherman,
Yes.
Ms. Khanna,
Yes,
congratulations.
congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion.
All right.
Enjoying the air conditioning.
I thought you were going to do a stand-up comedy right there. The mic is right there. You can do it.
When I come in.